This is the newest, most exciting entertainment show where nothing is off limits.
We bring you real, authentic, and raw conversations.
Enjoy good vibes, fashion, and lifestyle from your favorite celebrities.
Fun, trending topics, games, and educative segments.
Every Tuesdays from 3 p.m. and Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. With me, Lavin Nyagoa
and Hazel Jeru.
Only on The Unfiltered. By triple threat. Why? What is HIV triple threat, Mr. Ngara? Being a champion for,
Start with our guests.
Yeah.
So, the triple threat basically means we have three threats that are facing our young girls, specifically our adolescents and young girls. We are talking about the rates of new HIV infections. We are talking about SGBV, and we are also talking about teen pregnancies. And these three threats are a real threat to our future. They are a real threat to our existence. So that is why it is termed as a triple threat, and that is why we are trying to see what can be done to ensure that we reduce the new HIV infections, GBV, as well as the teen pregnancies.
Okay. Mr. Ngara, why is it important for, the young girls such as the Linda Malisafi girls to have access to this information, to be aware of what exactly is happening in our society?
Well, I don't want to use a very crude language. Like last time I said, love is a scam.
Yes.
Because these young girls at one time they were in love with their boys.
Yes.
And they did what they did. They got pregnant and the boys disappeared. So the girls were left alone. And most of them are drop out of school. They don't have income. They have babies. They said children having babies, because some of the girls here got pregnant at age of 13, 14, 14, where they could not make even decisions. But when pregnancy occurs, this 15-year-old girl must behave like a mother. And they also have their parents, and their parents, the disconnection now between two parents. These girls have really suffered. And we want to give them a shoulder to lean on. We want to give them hope. We want to empower them economically. We also want to postpone any other pregnancy. We can say delay, we can stop. We also want to support them not to have new HIV infection among themselves.
Yeah.
So we encourage them to use condom, to use PrEP, and also to be faithful if they can.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to help them.
Okay, so Mr. Maina, what would you say are some of the major factors that are contributing to the high rate of HIV triple threat? That is, of course, the teen pregnancies, new HIV infections, and the sexual and gender-based violence.
So thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Number one, the issue of ignorance. People who could be informed, but then they choose to do contrary.
Yeah.
Number two, there is the issue of poverty.
Sorry.
There is the issue of literacy or illiteracy levels. That's another major gap. And as we still try to empower our young girls, the issue of imbalance in terms of like who would make sex-based decisions, it is still the man. So when we start the issues of triple threat, we are starting at a point at which our girls are at a disadvantaged spot. The grounds are not flat, they are not equal for every player.
Yeah.
So that is why we are saying we need to target our adolescents and young people so that we can try and empower them to be able to at least be able to overcome some of these drivers of the triple threat.
Okay.
Yes.
So Ms. Ngara, talking about the girls being aware and them learning from all these platforms that we have, how can we best ensure that this information gets to all of them without any hindrance?
Currently, we have about 45 girls that we have recruited as Linda Malisafi.
Yeah.
They are ambassadors. These girls have dedicated themselves to go to the village, educate other young girls in school, help them to continue with the education, so as they not fall in the same trap that we went through. So that is number one. So these girls are ambassadors, and we are empowering them so as they can go and empower others.
Yes.
That is one of the systems that we are doing.
Okay, and Mr. Maina, talking about, them be empowering each other. Aside from, of course, the empowerment, and we have the media, which is another way that you'd say has been proven to help these young girls get access to information?
Number one, part of what we do is engaging them. Once we engage them, we know what they like doing. We are able to identify where we can be able to touch them, like where can we be able to reach them. And the other thing is trying to establish who are their contacts, so that if you can use their contacts, you can know the touch points, then you can be able to deliver information that is going to reach them. Because peer support system is one thing, but even knowing where to get them and who interacts with them, so that they can also participate in advocacy.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Ngara, we have community-based organizations. What is your role as community-based organization? How do you contribute to the community to ensure that there is something that is being done about ending the HIV triple threat?
Thank you very much. One of the things that we do is baseline survey. We just don't come with ideas.
Yes.
We have to see the needs. We have to work with them, not work for them.
Yes.
So we work together, we make decisions together, we implement together, and we also see the results together.
Yeah.
So like here, we are learning more about like safe sex negotiation. How do you negotiate for safe sex? How do you negotiate for condom? How do you use proper use of condoms and consistent? We are using things that already they want, not as imposing to them.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, Mr. Maina, from where you sit, we have survivors of, the HIV. We have people who've survived from, teen pregnancies. Some have survived from sexual and gender-based violence. How, as a council, as NSDCC, how do you ensure that you create a safe environment for these people?
Number one, part of the issues that we are grappling with, we must understand that as much as we are trying to see what we can do as a sector, as the health sector, most of these issues are community and social issues, which end up as health issues. So what we're trying to do is to work with the community, so that we can be able to inform the community about what we as a department are going through, and telling them what they can be able to support, or how they can be able to come in to be able to ensure that we give a safer space and a better environment for our adolescents and young people as stakeholders, because quite a number of times the community does not realize that the community system is also a big stakeholder when it comes to issues of health. So we are trying to bring them on board and work with them so that they can also play their part.
Yes. Okay, so for the girls, Mnalan, Cindy, are you getting something? So I'm going to have a question for you immediately after tumemaliza the conversation. Niko na swali, and whoever is going to get the answer, I have a prize for you. So make sure that you're listening keenly mpaka tumalize, because whatever we are discussing, we are going to have questions from the discussion. Sawa? Sa msikize na msikize vizuri, si ndio? Okay, so Mr. Ngara, from where you sit, we have, Mr. Maina has talked about healthcare providers and the council working together. How do you ensure that the collaboration, for instance, where you're one of the biggest champions were HIV and people practicing safer sex, where I remember tukiwa pale AIDS Day ulisema safe sex is, do you remember? Mr. Ngara?
Can you remind me?
You said safe sex is sweet. So you're one of the biggest champions where people practicing safer sex. How do you ensure that, the community-based organizations, the councils and the healthcare providers wanafanya kazi pamoja just to make sure they provide the necessities that, people need in the society?
One is partnership. Like now we are getting free services from the health center.
Yes.
What we need is just a referral system. We go as a group, they be tested, they're given family planning, they're given PrEP, STI screening, everything is a package that we are given by partners, and now we are given by, is it level 3 or level 2 hospital?
It's a level 2.
Level 2 hospital.
Yes.
That is just here, where we have that partnership. We also look for people who provide services that we don't. We also look for like my partner here, my good friend here. It's from an organization that we always fill the gaps of what we don't have. So one of the greatest thing is liaising with all partners, attending the local partners meeting, and participating in the national event.
Yeah.
Like now we are preparing to, on 28th, we have World Menstrual Day.
Yes.
That's why our girls have pads. We have been given these pads by UNFPA,
Yes.
and we have enough for them.
Yes.
So on Sunday we are inviting you here again as we celebrate that day.
Yes.
So that's what we do. We do a lot of collaboration and partnership with people who have what we don't have.
Yeah. Mr. Maina, looking at the youth and HIV, and then looking at teen moms that we have, most of the teen moms, according to research, they get pregnant due to incest, and this comes as a result of, you know, okay, this is what they normally say. If ukiambia mtu nitakufanyia kitu fulani, so maybe there is death, there is threat that comes with it, there is, you know, a lot that comes with the whole package for the teen moms especially. And some of these relatives who get to do this, some of them have HIV and AIDS. So we have this girl, she's pregnant and she's positive without the knowledge of any of this. So how do you make sure that this young girl mentally she's fine?
So number one, I agree with you, there is the issue of incest. Unfortunately, we do not have data that can be able to show us where we are at.
Yeah.
But quite a good number of times we realize the number of teen mothers who are here, if you were to talk to them, a good number of them will tell you about intergenerational sex, and they will tell you about transactional sex, which basically means they are giving sex for something, to receive something else, maybe because they needed some pads or something of that sort,
Yeah.
or they needed security or something of that sort. So basically that is one of the biggest issues that we are facing.
Yeah.
When it comes to having a group like this, and that is why we've gathered them here, other than the health services, they also get psychosocial support.
Yeah.
So when they come here, they're able to come together, and they're able to socially support each other. We are able to come in and be able to give whatever messages are relevant at that particular moment, and the services that my friend here has talked about.
Yeah.
So that is the kind of support that as a department we would say we are collaborating with the organizations to be able to give.
Okay,
Yes.
so Mr. Ngara, we have social norms that come with certain things. For instance, contraceptive is one of the biggest yenye tunajua. We have communities that up until today do not associate themselves with contraceptives. So how do you make sure that, you know, hawa watu, they get the education despite them having all that cultural setback?
This is a open cross group. These are people that we have been together now almost 1 year, and we have stages of development. We started with mobilizing, bringing them together, and trust building process. They trust us because of the information and the services that we give. So one of the things we do is we give them correct, updated, right information on health. So we look for experts. We don't just give information that we don't have evidence or we don't have source for.
Yeah.
Then these girls also have evidence of what is happening on the ground. If you're not using contraceptives, you can see the results.
Yeah.
So they have the results, they have the evidence, they have the truth.
Yeah.
So making decisions for them is very easy
Yeah.
after giving them the right information.
Okay, so as we slowly come to the end, talk to us about some of the approaches that are being put in place to make sure that, you know, we are fighting this battle, the HIV triple threat.
So one of the things we are doing is utilizing the locally available opportunities. Like for example, we already have structures that maybe were formed or came together as a result of addressing other issues. So what we're trying to do is to see how can we leverage on these opportunities to be able to also address HIV. Let me give an example. When they came together,
Yeah.
they came together because of the issues of teen pregnancy.
Yeah.
But how do we also engage them to be able to address more than one issue that has brought them together. So we are utilizing community-based structures to also be able to address these issues. Communities structures that are not basically formed to address health or HIV issues, but just to ensure that amongst the priority discussions, amongst the priority agenda they have, HIV, alcohol and drug abuse, mental health, teen mothers, SGBV is also part of the conversation that they're also going to hold. So we are coming up in, we are trying to take advantage of those opportunities, trying to support those organizations. And when we try and support them, what you're trying to do is we support them and then we buy a little bit of their time. Like for example, if they're having a certain activity, so they can have the activity, they can do whatever they want, but then we can buy a little bit of their program by coming in and supporting in a small way. The time that we buy in, we also are trying to use that time to address health related issues, and sometimes we also try and link them up with national and county resources and opportunities that if left alone they are not able to reach. So it is a give and take so that we can be able to work together to be able to address what is the triple threat.
So tumefika mwisho. And like I said hapo before, tukiwa katikati, I said I'm going to have just one question for somebody. Whoever is going to answer that, I have a gift for you. So tukianza, we talked about HIV triple threat. Tulisema triple threat, it has 3 components. Nani has mentioned the 3 components that we talked about? Who can?
Triple threat.
Triple threat. Iko na components 3. Nani anaweza mention? Who can? Okay, just tell us your name na utuambie hata kama ni moja. Tuambie jina alafu tuambie hata kama ni answer moja.
My name is Rehema.
Yes.
Yes, moja. Nimesema sijui teen mothers
It's okay. So, for those of you who hawakusikia hapo mbele, we said triple threat has 3 components. That is teen pregnancies, sexual and gender-based violence, na ingine moja? New HIV infections. So I hope you learned something from today's session. Nani amelearn kitu? Okay, what did you learn?
of HIV threat. Mothers of teen pregnancy.
Yes.
And then HIV.
New infections. Okay, that's really nice. Okay guys, so we have come to the end of today's episode, and as you can see, let's come together, let's support these beautiful girls. As you can see, tuko kwa their grounds, Shamba la Watoto in Kiandutu slums, Thika town. So if you have any support that you'll need to bring for them, please do. They are always here any day, anytime. Just come in, there is somebody who's here waiting to receive you. Sindio? And let's meet same time, same place next week. I have been your host, Lavin Nyagoa, and this is Counting the Red Ribbons.
Most exciting entertainment show in town.
Talk about authentic and real conversations,
Fun and educative segments,
trending topics,
celebrity checks,
books and authors,
Q&A.
Join me, Lavin Nyagoa and Hazel Njeru every Tuesdays and Saturdays from 3 to 4 p.m. only on The Unfiltered.